Welcome back, everyone, to the Romans podcast, and we are back again after 2 weeks. We have been lacking a bit recently with episodes, so I do apologise for that. It's a very busy period of uni, and I mean also, obviously, coming to the tail end of the actual football season now as well, so I think it will probably be more likely that we'll have an episode every 2 weeks as opposed to every 1 week coming into the summer break. But I'm joined back again here with Ollie today.
Hello.
And today we've got an episode where we're not really talking again about the games as such. It's more of a sort of, a one-off episode where we're looking at our current squad. Obviously, there's a high chance now, probably almost destined now, that we are going down at the end of this season, meaning that probably will be quite something of a clear out of the squad when we do go down. Not necessarily a total, everyone goes sort of thing, but a lot of players going. And we were thinking of this episode that we do a keep, loan, sell episode where we'll go through every permanent player we have. This is obviously not counting loan players like Putman and La Creta who will probably be going back or whatever. But counting our permanent players, our sort of players on contract and some are under contract as well. Not necessarily sure who they are. But we'll go through each of them one by one. Ollie will say what he thinks. I'll say what I think. And we'll sort of get into a debate if we disagree. And if we agree, we'll, move on to the next player. Just a quick disclaimer as well, because obviously we're not 100% sure how many players listen to the podcast or staff or whatever. Just remember that if either me or Ollie says sell, it's not because we think you're bleep or whatever,
Yeah, we're not criticising.
It's not a criticising of the player or the person. It's just what we personally believe from a footballing knowledge point of view. We're not saying that, this player needs to get rid, this player needs to get out of the club. We're just saying what we think is best for the squad.
It's all love and respect. We don't want to criticise the people personally.
And obviously, the fact that we're going down, some of these players that we'll say need to go, we think we need to go because they're probably not right for that lower level, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's all a matter of perspective, and what we're saying, just because what we say, that's not what, we're not saying, leave, or they're not gonna listen to this and go, oh well, if Ollie and Oscar say we'll leave, it's just a case of,
our personal opinion.
This is our personal opinions. So, yeah.
But anyway, moving on to that, let's get into the first player. So Ollie, I'm gonna ask you first. You're gonna say what you think between keep, loan, sell. Okay. And you're going to go into your reasonings, and then I'll say what I think. So, first player, Harvey Wells-Richards.
Keep.
Yeah. Any reasons?
Well, again, Harvey Wells-Richards has been a massive, and a big important player for us as well. And I know we've brought in Charlie Binns, and we'll get to him later down the list. But Harvey Wells-Richards has been crucial with the saves as well. He's very calm, composed on the ball. The fans love him, even though he does have his moment here or there where he does scare me. Like the ball go to him, I'm like, what is he doing? Just get rid of it. But he has been a big important player for us, and as well as where we are in the league, I think we need more goalkeepers. Along that same sort of level, I would say keep. I think he's important for us.
You see, I disagree with this one.
Oh, we've got our first disagreement.
Already in the first player.
First disagreement, Jesus.
And this is a very difficult one. I think this is one of the hardest ones, and I actually put on my list what I was thinking. I say sell, but I literally put next to sell, I'll debate this reason, because I've got my reasons for keeping, and I've got my reasons for selling. My reasons for keeping Harvey Wells-Richards, he's a local lad to Bath. Mm. He was in our youth system, and he very briefly left us to go to various clubs like Weymouth or Bristol City Academy or whatever. Then he came back to us, and of course he was our player of the season last season. He's been fantastic this season as well. He's had his injuries, troubles. He's had some mistakes that he's made. He's become a father at some point in this season. But I think my main reason for wanting him gone is one, injuries. I think he's picked up a lot of injuries this season, and looking at the league we're going into, Southern League, it's going to be much harder to maintain two goalkeepers. Usually a lot of teams in that league have one goalkeeper and their goalkeeper coach sort of thing. They can't really afford to have two goalkeepers on contract. And if we were to have a goalkeeper on contract, I wouldn't want our goalkeeper, Harvey Wells-Richards, to be a keeper that is getting injured every time he comes back. Like the amount of times Harvey's come back now and he's gone straight back out of injury, I just don't think that we should keep onto him and keep paying him that wage if he's going to keep getting injured. My second reason is because I actually think he's too good for Southern League.
Yeah,
I think when he is fit and when he is at his best, I think he should be still achieving to go higher. Because unlike Jack Batten and Joe Rains, who are old players and have been at for us for a long time, Harvey's still young and he's still got a chance to have a career ahead of him. So I think while I wouldn't want him to go to a rival or whatever, I think National League South is still his level, and I wouldn't want him to, I'm not necessarily waste his time, but sort of rot away, I guess, at Bath City. But if he is happy here, that's down to him. But I think my main reason for not wanting to keep him and why I would say sell is mostly because we probably will only be able to keep one good goalkeeper next season, and I think he's too injury prone. Okay,
well, fair enough. Right. Do you want to get to number 2?
Yeah. What did you think about that?
Well, I got to ask your opinion on that. Yeah, so I'm trying to skip ahead. Yeah, but I do agree with that, and obviously injuries have been a main important problem for him. It is going to be difficult to try and let the numbers that we have got go, especially in this part of the season. But I mean, ever since the game where we had, how many keepers we had sent off? What was the game we got?
2.
Yeah, we had 2 keepers sent off at the start of the season. Ever since then, I'm saying all bets are off. Bets are off. You got to keep. I'd say I want to keep him, and I would want to keep Charlie as well. They're both good in both areas, but yeah, unfortunately,
it's money though. You got to think realistically.
We do have to think about the fact that not only is the players going to take a hit, the morale's going to take a hit, everything's going to take a hit, including the finances as well. If they haven't already taken a hit before, they're going to take a bigger hit now. And if that means losing one of our keepers, then unfortunately, I want him to stay, but if he has got to go, whether it's for personal, whether it's financial reasons, I guess then
his career,
then we got to go. Then it's got to go.
Right, getting on to number 2. We're doing this in numerical order, so don't be a bit shocked, being like, why have they gone from Harvey?
You did a striker. What's going on?
Yeah, don't be shocked that we've gone from Harvey and not gone to Binns next, because we're doing it in numerical order, exactly how we do our lineups as well, which always confuses people. But Joe Rains, second player. What do you think, Ollie?
Definitely keep.
Yeah, I think so as well.
100% keep. Yeah.
I think we agree on that one because, what's your reasons for it?
Well, exactly. I mean, when we've seen Rains play, we've seen how great he is on the back and in the defence and everything. And there's been obviously with any player on this list, there could probably be a moment where you say, "Oh, what about that performance there where he wasn't up to standard?" But Rains has been very solid on the defence as well. And then the times that we've seen him play on the wing or up front, he is solid. He can offer multiple things to the team. He's a big name for the club. He's been loyal. He's been here for many years. He keeps providing stuff game by game, and he makes the games more exciting. And I think he's a big crucial player for us. So I would say keep. And yeah, I hope he would stay just for another season or 2. I hope he would stay for longer.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think. One thing that maybe you look at Joe Rains and you think maybe he should go is, again, injuries. He's picked up a little bit more injuries this season than he has done previous seasons, and he's getting old as well. But I think the main thing is, he's our second most loyal player we've got at the club. It's very unlikely that he will leave even if we do go down. And I think, with a loyal player like that, a bit of experience in there, probably a potential captain next season as well.
Yeah.
I'd say keep him. I mean, so long as we play him in position, right? I don't want to see him centre mid, striker, centre back, like goalkeeper, all these positions that we've played him in. I want to actually see him at right back if we keep him, and that's a strong message out to Scott Bartlett, because this centre mid Joe Rain stuff needs to stop. I know you just arrived at the club and we're quite low for squad depth, but if we don't have an injury crisis, there's no reason for him to be playing there. I mean, we need Joe Rains at right back next season.
It is definitely his better position. I mean, I mean the centre mid stuff. It's not. I mean, obviously, it's not where it needs to be. I don't mind it, and obviously, with the case that we have the depth and we've had this huge injury crisis, and obviously we got trouble with players and we're bringing in loanies and all that, and then you need to put certain players in certain positions. He's not the worst in that position, but definitely, if we are going to keep along, and if he does stay, then fullback is where he needs to be. He needs to be right back specifically.
All right. Next one, Danny Greenslade.
I love the guy. I do love the guy. He's so loyal and everything, and he's brought some great moments to the team. We love Danny Greenslade. We stole him away. We stole him away, but unfortunately, I do think it might be his time soon.
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with that. I think he's got to go, to be honest. He's had a great tenure at the club.
Yeah.
He's scored some bangers. He's had some fantastic performances. He was fantastic last season. He has kind of just fallen off the bandwagon this season.
Yeah, it's been real tough, because I remember when we started going to the Bath games a bit more regularly, we were looking at Greenslade and we thought, oh, he's just so crucial. And he's great on the defence as well. But then in recent games and memories, I think, I don't know if it's whether it's his spark or not, but I think it's come to the point now where as we're heading into this point in the season, I think we really need to be focusing more on our defence. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'm sorry. And as Green Slade, as much as I love him, unfortunately, I think his time might be coming up soon.
Well, we agree with that. There we go. Next one, Ollie Tomlinson.
Ollie Tomlinson again. I mean, have all of these players. I've just started noticing this now. The further I go down the list, there's players that I just do not want to get rid of because I've seen some great moments. But Tomlinson again, I think is another one that we might have to boot off.
Yeah, and I think also his contract. I think he's one of the players that actually is out of contract at the end of the season too.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of players that were on 2-year contract. I think Darren signed a lot of them on a 2-year contract. But I think Ollie Tomlinson's on a 1 year, and 1 year's left, so he's towards the end of his contract.
Yeah.
And also, I think I know, like, it was literally just last episode where I said how much of a crucial player he was to us and how much we were missing him in defence. But he had a long-term injury. He's come back and he's not been the same.
No,
and we have that tends to commonly be the case of us. I don't know whether it's because we're a part-time club and we train a lot less. But, Ewan Clark came back, was never as good as he was. Jordan Alves came back. He kind of wasn't in the same form he was in. I think also Tomlinson, he's a young centre-back. He probably wouldn't take being in the Southern League either. So I'd say ship him off.
No, exactly. And as well as the fact of us going down into the Southern League, that's really going to affect the case of like whether these players are going to want to improve and try and work and help to get the team back into National League South, or if unfortunately, a lot of the players that we really want to keep go. So, and again, his contract runs at the end of the season, like you said. So whether or not he decides to stay or try and power on, we don't know. But unfortunately, I think it will have to be another case where he's going to go. So.
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, he has had some fantastic performances again for us.
Definitely some brilliant moments.
He was great last season. He really kept us up last season.
Oh, definitely, 100%. But unfortunately now it's going to have to be another one of those.
All right, next one, Jack Batten.
Jack Batten, I'd say keep.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Again, loyal player.
Yeah, definitely loyal player. And again, there's been on some of the games where sometimes our defence has been a bit shaky or we'll have a defensive error or whatever. And Jack Batten sometimes is a real big positive.
He is the most composed centre-back.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of critiques from fans. He's kind of a bit of a Marmite player, I think. Some people love him, some people hate him. But at the end of the day, he's a solid centre-back. He's kind of like our Harry Maguire in a way, you know what I mean?
In some sorts of a Harry Maguire, yeah. But and when you see him as well, because our defence can be really, really, really shaky. Again,
he's the only composed one.
The only composed one. The times that we have great attack and then some very good moments in midfield, and then the defence is just shaky and all over the place. He's the one that you see him. He's always got his eye on the ball. He always, and again, there's no other word that comes to mind. Like you just said, composed. He stays on the moment, and I would love to see him continue on his career at Bath City. Whether or not he decides he wants to do that, I'd say just keep him on.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he said to the fans at some point that he's definitely staying for next season. So that's good as well.
I'd love to
even
see
though
that.
we're in Southern League,
Even
and
though
I think
we're in
that's
Southern
good.
League, I'd love to see it.
It's a league below, and I think it'll actually be kind of good for him. He's getting old, and he's still consistent in National League South. So going a league lower, he's still got stuff in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Next one, Kieran Parcell, the skipper.
Kieran Parcell. Ooh. I'm at a loss. I mean, part of me wants to keep, but I'm thinking another sell, to be honest with you.
Me too.
You're thinking a sell? Okay,
Yeah, I agree.
Tell me what you think then, Oscar.
Well, obviously he's our skipper, and I think when he first came into the club, there's a reason why he became skipper almost instantly when he came into a club. He's a great leader. He doesn't get injured very often. He's usually always available. He shows up every week. But especially at the Torquay game I've seen, he's too shaky. He's too nervous. He doesn't. He's lost a massive turn of pace as well. And I think actually having pace as centre back is in some ways more important than having pace as a striker.
Yeah,
like you can lose your pace as a striker and still score a couple goals. You lose your pace as a centre back, you can't keep up with all these young nippy wingers.
No,
and you're just. I don't want to say it, but you're just no good anymore. You know what I mean?
No, I mean in some cases. Well, for some cases, then I mean, even though I said leaning towards more of a sell. What would it be like if it was more of a loan? If he went on like a short...
I don't think he'd go on a loan at his age. I mean, then again, Scott Wilson went on loan to Weston Superman, came back and he was pretty good. Maybe, but I just think get the money in, sell him, get the money in from the sale. I don't know where he'd go, whether or not he'd go to another National League South club or another Southern League club. But I just think... For us especially, he's had a great tether as captain, and he's a very nice guy. From this brief conversations I've had with him at the end of games, but I think his time here is up, unfortunately, and I think he should go. at the start of next season.
So I mean, if there was an opportunity to say, let's say, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, club example A wanted to loan him for like, I don't know, like a month or whatever, and then he came back, or you could have like another club that would sell him. You'd rather loan him, you'd rather sell him and then take the money in rather than loan him in the possibility if he comes back with a bit more.
I don't think he will at his age though. That's the thing. He's like 29, I think, bordering 30. I just don't think it like I know Wilson did, but again, that's what I'm saying. The difference between strikers and centre backs.
Okay, so a sell, third part sell then. Thinking.
Yeah, I think sell him. Okay, going on to the next one, number 7. Ollie, this is a key one.
This is a very big one that we're seeing here.
Yeah, Jordan Alves, what do you think?
Jordan Alves, yeah. So, I mean, before I say my depiction on it, so whenever I've been in the stand, it's always been, we've had moments where we've been frustrated or moments where we go, oh, he's just a brilliant player. And it's been a mishmash, really. I think Alves, okay, I'll say it and then I'll get my opinion then. Alves, we've got to keep. I would say we've got to keep him. But the thing is, Alves is a player that when we've seen him playing on the pitch as well, and again, Alves is a brilliant player as well. He's done some great moments. The free kicks are just a thing of beauty. I just scream whenever I see them go in. But there are times where we go, oh, he's brilliant and he's amazing. But then there's also the thing of like, oh, he's very selfish. He doesn't really work with the team. He always likes to try and go on his own. And for this league that we're in as well, you can see how much more competitive the defenders are and how more aggressive everything is. So you trying to do these solo runs in the box, it's not working. You need to work with your team, especially with where you are. So I think he is a player that I do definitely want to see at Bath City and keep. I wouldn't be opposed to a loan, but at the same time, I think keeping is probably the best bit. But he needs to definitely, if he's going to stay here, he needs to work with his team a bit more.
Very well said, I think. I think I agree with a lot of what you said there.
Yeah.
I think I'd keep, but I put in my notes, I said keep dependent, because I think it's dependent on keeping him, because I think he'll probably most likely be leaning towards wanting to go back to a National League South club for his own career. He's got a big sort of, like in a good way, a big sort of ego to him. He wants to be playing at a higher level. And I think also if looking at if we were to sell him, we'd probably get a lot of money for him, because obviously all the clubs have watched his TikToks and seen all the good bits about him. We'll probably be able to get quite a lot of money, like more money than we should be getting out of him.
He is. I mean, love him or not or whatever. He is definitely one of our star players. He's one of the players that.
I'd want to keep him. I think since Bartlett has come in, he seems a bit more creative and a bit more free in his role.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to keep him just because he's sort of picked up form a little bit, so long as he keeps at this level. And I mean, he's shown his class as well. But again, like, there's reasons for selling him. We spoke about it last podcast. Is he doing it for his TikTok sort of thing? There is
was doing it for the team.
Does he want to leave? Does he think he's better than Southern League? He probably most likely does, and I think he is probably most likely to leave. But I think on the whole, looking at everything, I'd keep him just because he's good at moving the ball forward. And we've seen it when he plays in the Somerset Cup, when he plays the lower level teams. I know they've been more like tier 8, tier 9 teams, but going into tier 7, playing against these easier teams, he might even, be one of our key players going down into that league below.
No, exactly. But then, and then again, I think I said it earlier, and I'm going to say it again. When we go into this lower league, it's really going to show the players that are going to want to fight, that are going to play for the team, that are going to want to play for the team to try and get them back up into National League South. And then the ones that go, well, I could do that, or Torquay have just approached me and they want to bring me in for a bit, and they're in a league higher and they're in a better position and they could make playoffs, which is what I want to do. So it's really going to go in. This position is really going to show, even if we want to keep this player and they'd be great for the team, it's still going to show who's going to want to stay, who's not going to want to stay, and everything. So
I agree.
Again, so I mean, bottom line, want to keep, but we don't know. Yeah, we hope. He stays.
All right. Next one, number 8. Will Jenkins-Davis.
Will, we love you, Will. Was okay. Again, this is most of these answers are going to be repeats. Again, he's another player that I definitely want to keep. I want to keep Will Jenkins-Davis, but
you want to keep him, but
I want to keep him, but I see it as highly unlikely that he'll stay.
That's why I disagree. I've put him down as sell, because I don't think he'd want to stay.
No.
He's 20 years old. He's young. He's also his injuries as well. That's another.
Injuries have really set him back.
It's for the same reason why I want to get rid of Harvey Wiles-Richards, because I think we're not going to have as much squad depth. We've got low squad depth as it is. We're going to have it even lower in the league below with the finances and that. Will Jenkins-Davis is too injury prone. I think he's also better than Southern League. I don't think he's going to want to stay. And I also think because he's got on a 2-year contract, we can actually get money if we sold him, and we'd be able to get a lot of money for him as well because he's a young player, he's a young centre mid, and he's one of our key players.
Yeah.
I say sell him just for the financial reasons and also for injuries.
Right, okay. Again, it's just, you know, you don't want to let the thing, you know, you don't want to let him go, but I can agree. I'm not saying, well, no, you're wrong because he's whatnot, but you know, speaking of where we are, the situation that Bath are in at the moment, if he did go, I wouldn't blame him as well. And I wouldn't blame the board.
I mean, I think my own opinion would be very different if he wasn't as injury prone as he was. I think if he had an injury-free season, which is very unlikely because he was playing 90 minutes like every game, and it was something waiting to happen. I think, you know, if he wasn't so injury prone, I might have been more up for debate. But the injuries, on top of the fact that he's too good for us to go down into that league, I think we get rid of him, we get the cash in. Yeah,
I mean, but at the same time, I like to think that especially with injuries, he is a player that does still fight and play hard. Like when we rushed him back from injury for Worthing,
and we did the same against Torquay just on Monday.
Yeah, and when we rush him back, he does seem to put in a really good performance. And then for Torquay, he then for Worthing, he scores the winning goal as well. And I do think, again, if he wasn't as injured and if he was in,
it barely lasted 5 minutes away at Torquay.
Unfortunately, but if he was in really good form and he wasn't injured, and we took our time with him, I think he could be good. But it's a 50-50. If you keep him, you've got a chance of having a great player, but at the same time, you want to get some money in, especially where we are at the moment, and let him play for where he deserves to play, which is in a higher league.
But we'll get a bit of a move on because we are short for time.
Short for time. Okay, right. Let's speed it along.
All right, Scott Wilson.
I want to keep him.
Yeah, I'd say the same actually. But the weird thing is that start of the season I was like, get rid of him. I think he's past his best. But since he's come back from loan, he's looked a different player.
Yeah, so like for all the times that we've been in the stands and we say, all right, Scott Wilson's play, and there's just been so many times where he just doesn't make the run and he just doesn't have the speed up front, and where like there'll be a great ball that gets launched and everything, and he just doesn't make the run, and you go, that's a perfect opportunity, and you didn't take it. Or sometimes he missed 1-to-1s, and you just go, oh, what's going on? And then when we sent him out on loan, we thought, okay, let's see what's going to happen. And then immediately into his loan at Weston Super Mare, he just starts banging in goals, and we thought, oh my god, what's going on?
I think also he doesn't often get injured either. Like he's not what's a player that comes to mind when he often gets injured, and I think that's what we need. We need to keep our players that don't get injured as much. And I also think, you know, he's 33. He's probably looking at a move to the league below soon anyway.
Yeah.
I'd say he'd be happy to stay. He's a loyal player, just like Batten and Reigns and that. I think there's a high chance that he probably will stay, but we will need to get another striker on top of him, I think. You know.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. So, again, and we'll speed through these ones, but I think definitely, I still think, keep him along.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't be surprised if in the coming seasons or in the coming season, maybe.
I think keep him for maybe 1 year. Give him a 1 year contract.
Give him another 1 year contract, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got at least one season in the Southern League in him if he wants to stay with us, which he probably will at his age.
Yeah, definitely.
Next, we've got number 11.
Brad Ash. This might be a controversial one, but I'm going to say sell.
Same here, yeah.
You're saying, right. I thought you were going to...
We've actually agreed more than we've disagreed.
We've agreed. This has not been an eventful pod. I'm expecting to be, no, you're wrong. He's brilliant. But yes, okay. With Brad Ash then, there's been... again, a player that when it's mattered, Brad Ash has been the player up front as well, and he does really try. But there have been moments where I do just...
Injuries
have really taken him. So again, I think if he were to go, I'm not against it. That's what I got to say, really.
You look at him, I don't want to say it, but he's a purple patch player. And I can name his 2 purple patches he had for us. One was at the end of the 24-25 season, and one was October 2025 at the start of this season, where he'd go on like a 5-game scoring streak, and then he'd just disappear for another 10, 15 games. And I think he's got a lot of pace, and he's a good playmaker down the wing as well. But I think he was almost a player that suited Darren Way's system. Like like him and Will Jenkins-Davis was what Darren Way's system relied on before he went Route 1 all the time. And I think, I don't know what Scott Bartlett thinks about him as a player, but for me personally, I think, I agree. Get rid of Brad Ash, and I think he probably will go as well. He is on the older side as well now as well.
He is, yeah. But again, it was a manager that it was the player that worked with Darren's system, and we'll see how, because we've just been launched into Bartlett Ball, so we'll see how he works in that system, especially in these last few games, and then if he stays on into next season, we'll see how he plays with that. But until then, I think if he does go, I think it wouldn't be a bit of bad. I think it would be some pretty good business for the club,
I agree.
especially.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to number 12. This is an interesting.
12, yeah.
This is about the most interesting one we've got on here. Zach Smith.
Zach Smith. Okay.
I don't think he's played. I think he's played 20 minutes for us, and he's been here like one of the longest amounts. He's played 20 minutes of football at the start of the 24-25 season, picked up a really bad injury, came back at the end of that season, picked up the same injury at the start of the next season, and had to start his own crowdfunder for it. Best of luck to him. I hope he's doing very well.
Exactly. I mean, and again, I hope he has a speedy recovery, but I've barely seen him play. So, I mean,
I think...
Again, it's going to be a sell.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've done, I hate to say it, if you've done an ACL at the start of one season, you've done the same ACL at the start of another season, and you've missed the whole of both seasons, that is an epitome of an injury-prone player. And I think it is very... I do really rate the club for keeping him, because obviously he's been out on this long-term injury. He needed some source of income because he would have been struggling otherwise. So I rate it for the respect part of things. Like, it was very ethical to keep him. But I think once his contract runs out, he does have to go, because he's played 20 minutes and he's been here for 2 years. It's a must sell. You have to get rid of him.
It is.
And I hope for his sake that he can find a club that wants to have him. I know there's maybe some arguments people are saying, well, he played for Taunton, and Taunton are in that league below. He might know something about that league below, but nah.
Unfortunately, it's just going to have to be like we do hope he has a speedy recovery, and it's been great to keep him on board.
It's been anything but a speedy recovery so far.
Well, yeah, we hope he gets a recovery, speedy or not. We hope he does recover from these horrible injuries that he's had, but. Yeah, unfortunately, we would just have to let him go. Nothing personal, but we just need these players.
And it's very ethical for the club to keep him. I know there's a lot of fans saying, why didn't we just cut his contract? But, it's just common courtesy at the end of the day. He had a bad club at our club, and we're just here to support him, Next one, we got our goalkeeper coach, Martin Horsell. This is an interesting one. I've actually put keep for this one.
Yeah, okay, well... I'll agree with you on this one then. Yeah, keep, because I mean, especially when you saw him in that short moment where we had both of our goalkeepers sent off, and then you saw him jumping in as well. I think based off what he's brought to the club and how he's coached both Harvey Wiles, Richards, and Binns, and if we do end up getting rid of either Harvey or not just if we end up getting rid of one of the goalkeepers, I think he wouldn't be a bad step in.
Horsell would be our backup, we wouldn't have a backup on contract. Horsell will be our backup, and I mean, that will be a much better way of doing things, because that way you've got a goalkeeper coach and a backup goalkeeper there just in case of something happening. And then obviously if your main goalkeeper gets injured, you can bring in loans in or whatever. I think if we're going down to the Southern League, we're not going to be able to keep Harvey and Binns, but we should keep Horsell, because he's there just in case we need it. That's if he does want to do one more season as the backup keeper, or if he wants to be goalkeeper coach. But either way, I think we should keep him, because I think from what I've actually seen of him playing in that Dorking game, he was actually quite good.
Yeah, I mean, again, so we I lost what I'm saying, but all I'm just going to say is it doesn't get more non-league than that when you don't have multiple backup keepers. You got two keepers, and then you got the coach who steps in. I just love that. So yeah, I'd say I will say keep him as well. And again, if we do lose either Harvey or Charlie, he wouldn't be a bad backup as well, especially with the finances that we've got and the situation that we're in right now.
Yeah, I think we'll probably bring in another keeper as well. We probably will do a separate episode where we look at players we could bring in.
Yeah, players that we could bring in, or players that we'd want to bring in. I think
that'll require a lot of research into the Southern Leagues, that's for sure.
I'm willing to do that. But yeah, so again, long story short, I would say keep him on that one, yeah.
Nice. Next one, Alex Fisher.
I want to keep him.
Ooh, okay, I disagree.
You disagree?
I say sell.
Okay, well, the thing is, I'll just say it real quickly then. I think I've liked seeing Alex Fisher playing up front as well, and what he offers, especially what he offers in our attacks. I don't think...
He's 35 and he gets injured every time he comes back.
I know, but I've really enjoyed seeing him up front. But again, I don't think he should stay for long, but for now, I do... Especially where we are in, I do want to see him just for a little bit longer.
I think get rid of him and get another experienced striker in who's got a little less injuries, because I just think, he's always had an injury troubles, Alex Fisher, but it's getting worse and worse as time goes on. If it's bad now, imagine how bad it's going to be next year when he's 36.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I just don't want to fall in love with some of these players. But yeah. Ideally I'd want to keep. But again, if it does get worse, maybe a sell. But again, I'm still sticking with it. I do think I'd want to see him for longer. But these injuries, I mean, not only have they like taken a hit on some of our other players as well, they have taken a hit on some of these players that you want to keep. So yeah, I'd ideally keep. But I mean, if we got him gone, then it is what it is. But yeah, right. Who have we got next?
We have Louis Sweeton.
Louis Sweeton. Okay. I'm gonna keep him.
I'd say the same. I know a lot of people would probably say loan because he's a young player.
Yeah.
But I actually think next year is his breakthrough year. You know, he's in the league below. It's his breakthrough year into the first team. I think even if he's not a starter, he's an easy bench option, a regular bench option we can turn to.
Yeah.
He's a loyal player. He's much like Batten and Rains. He's coming through the youth system and that. I think I've seen enough from him when he's played for him to be, you know, good enough to keep in the league below.
And we've seen how some of these players, especially when we saw when we went to Odd Down and we saw that game, we saw how some of these players play against the teams in the leagues below.
Obviously, Odd Down's like quite a few leagues below.
Obviously, Odd Down's many leagues below, but especially when you go down into these leagues, you can see some of these players, these small, you know, these younger players that can go out and we can see their potential and think next season, especially the teams that we're going to play against, some of these players are going to shine. Where I think we're going to see, especially next season, we're going to see a lot more positive performances. Yeah. I know this before, and hopefully Bath can shine a lot more. And we can see,
it's a difficult league to adapt to. Though.
It's a very difficult league to adapt to, but hopefully the boys can go in and go, okay, well let's try. So yeah, even though a loan wouldn't be bad, I think a keep.
Yeah. All right. Next, Jordan Tilson. Sell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we can, but I don't think we need to say more. But
No. Okay, respectfully, I just think, you know, he's old. You know, he's got injured recently.
Yeah,
I think also is just, you know, he's at the end of his career. I wouldn't be surprised if he retires soon either.
Yeah.
You know, lovely lad. Scored a screamer at Hampton, but other than that, I can't really name many highs from this season. I think he was great last season. I think he was a key player for us last season, but something in him's gone. Much like Parcell, something in him's gone, and he's just not the player he was. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. All right, well, we can move on. 17, Mitch Beardmore.
Mitch Beardmore, I want to keep Mitch Beardmore.
Same here.
Yeah, I think again, Mitch Beardmore, he's been a player that turns up as well, and I still don't think, even though this was at the start of the season, this is God knows how many months ago, but I don't think my vocal cords and my lungs have ever recovered as much as when he headed in that last second equaliser, even though it was a terrible performance. He turns up and he has been a very good attacking threat for us. I think
also
he's got more potential as well.
Key thing about him is that he has played in the Southern League twice, and on both of his loan spells in the Southern League, he has been fantastic. He scored 11 goals in 20 games. I can't remember for who it was. I think it might have been for Tiverton or Plymouth Parkway, one of the two.
Right.
I know he's been loaned to a lot of Southern League clubs, and whenever we play him against a Southern League club, say when he played against Bracknell, I thought he was one of our best players.
Yeah.
And it wasn't not so much against Wimborne, but I mean we won't bring up that name too much.
No.
Yeah, I think he's been great. The one thing that concerns me is his injury record, because he's very, very injury prone. But the thing is, I think he is one of the most key players to keep if we get relegated, purely because of the fact that he's got experience in that league below, and it's a very different league to adapt to. That's the only reason why I've got him down as keep, really.
Yeah.
And I also think he's a good player when it's on his day, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And again, for lots of these players that we've already said, we would keep. Some of the players, especially that we've said we want to loan out or sell or whatever, we do want to keep. But again, it has been a case of injuries, or we're going to go into a lower league, or age or whatever. Again, he is not another one of those players that is affected by that. So I do want to keep him as well. And the injuries have been a real big problem, but we're hoping, especially as we go into Southern, it should, we'll see if he improves or what happens with him.
True.
But say keep, yeah.
Yeah. Next, we've got Luke Russ.
Oh, yeah. I think I want to boot him off.
Yeah, same here.
You want to boot him? Yeah, you want to sell him? Okay. Because most of these opinions, they were agreeing each other. But yes, Luke Russ, right. There have been times, especially where I've just seen his performances, and it's really been like kind of like, oh, what are you doing? Or like, well, it'll be.
He puts in a shift on his day.
He does on his day. He does put in a shift, but there are just some times where it's like there'll be things that will happen, and like it's really difficult. I think a good player, and as well, and has been there on, has really turned up and has really helped us out. But I do think it comes to a point now.
He's had some good seasons for us.
Very good seasons for us, but I think it's now time we're going to have to say I'm sorry. But,
Much like Parcell, really. He's had his first couple of seasons he was decent.
Yeah.
In his most recent season, and I know it's not necessarily his fault because there's a lot of injuries around him. There's a lot of other players around him that are kind of losing it a little bit. But I think for him, he's got to be sold. He's still young as well, so he might appreciate a move to National League South club still. But yeah, I agree. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Owen Pritchard next. I don't know how much you've seen of him, but he's made the odd cameo.
Yeah, he's made the odd. I've seen a little bit of him in the highlights, and he does look very positive. I do think he's going to be. I think if not keep, probably a loan.
I think a loan, yeah.
You think a loan too? Then yeah, I mean,
first
loan, and especially for some of these players. Again, Scott's getting used to how some of these players play. But when we drop down into this league, we're gonna, again, I've said this multiple times. I'm going to keep saying it again. We're going to keep seeing how these players develop and how they work into this new league. And he does look promising. I think he could work, especially in the Southern. So I'd say maybe loan out for a little bit, or if not, keep hold of him and then play him more, especially when we get down into. Especially when we get relegated. So yeah, I'd say we'll keep hold of him. Don't boot him off just yet, or don't. But yeah, so keep hold of him,
right.
Or if not loan.
Next one, Matt Bowman.
Yeah, I want to keep him.
Yeah, I mean this is again dependent because obviously he's a uni student and he is considering staying in Bath. I don't know how much of a secret that is that I'm meant to keep, but he might be staying in Bath.
Yeah.
And there's a high chance that he might, and if he does, he's said he's very willing to stay at Bath City when we get relegated, and I think in the league below he'll be great as well because he played for Larkle Athletic it's sort of like he's played in National League South, he's played in the Tier 8 for Larkle, so this is like the middle way between National League South and Larkle, and I think if he does stay at us and he wants to stay at us, he's going to be a key player.
Exactly. And again, we've seen him in some recent performances as well, and he has just been a great threat up front. And I do want to see more of him, especially as we drop down. So definitely a keep.
Yeah, he really brings the ball forward as well.
I want to keep him.
I definitely want to keep Matt Bowman. I think it's realistic to expect us to keep him too.
Yeah.
Unlike it is Will Jenkins-Davis, for example.
I do think Will is a great player that you'd want to keep, but then he might move on. But
yeah, it's more realistic Matt Bowman stays, I think.
I'd say so.
Next one, 23, Owen Windsor.
Okay.
Now, I'm very divided on this, but I want to know what you think.
I know, you've got a bit of an opinion on him. I want to sell. Well, no, I don't want to sell. So I want to keep. So I don't know why I was thinking sell. I was thinking of someone else. I want to keep Windsor.
Oh well, here's the thing. I've put him down as sell.
You've put him down. Oh my! All right,
the reason for this, is because I think he was fantastic when he first joined us. He was he looked like he was going to be our new goal scoring striker.
Yeah.
Since then, since January, since he got injured, what has he really done? I don't want to say it, but what has he really done? He obviously did that winning assist for Chippenham. That was a fantastic ball in, and he's got a lot of pace and he's very good. But I think sometimes his decision making, I just don't really understand. I don't know why he doesn't shoot more regularly. I don't know why he sort of makes certain decisions, I guess. But I think it's weird because if he would be willing to stay at us, I probably would say he should. But at the same time, I think he's one of those players that he's got Football League experience. He'll probably want to go to a league above. It's one of the ones I'm really divided on because I think there's sometimes when I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You were fantastic when you first joined us and now you're not so great. But then on the other hand, I'm like, he is still a quick player. He's still a young player and there are reasons to keep him, as you said. But for me, I have my reasons basically why I want to get rid of him, and I think there's better players we can bring in for him.
Maybe would you be opposed to a loan if like another club came and said we want to take Windsor away from you for like a month?
He might go on a loan. I don't think he'd go on a loan if it was to a team above though.
No, but
I think he'd probably leave. And again, he's one of those players that actually now I think about it, I don't think he's on contract.
No,
I think Bowman signed a contract or something similar, but I don't think Windsor ever did.
No,
and I think that actually means that he's just gone.
Right.
So now I think about that, he didn't sign a contract, and I think that's probably another reason why I put sell debate because I've just remembered that now.
Right.
I think he's probably like Ollie Tomlinson. He's just
he's gonna go
off. quite likely, but unless he signs a contract, but I don't think he would if we went down, you know?
No, so yeah, again, I'm still clinging on to the pre-January moment of Windsor, and I just saw him play, and I just thought, okay, we've solved our attacking problem. This is going to be great. And then after that, then it just really went downhill. But so yeah, I'd want to again with like I've said with some of these previous players, I'd want to keep, but if they do go and if they don't sign the contract, I mean,
yeah,
it is what it is. But I'd want to keep him.
Next one, Charlie Binns.
Charlie Binns, yeah. So, again, and this does entirely depend upon the fact if we keep Harvey or if we keep our Horsell, or what Horsell decides to be our backup, or it doesn't matter. But I personally would want to. I would want to keep Binns.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've got him down as a loan person.
You got him as a loan.
The reason why I want to loan him is because I think people forget how young Charlie Binns is. I think people think he's older, like 20, 22 or something, just because he plays regularly and he's tall, but he's still 18 and he's still young, and he's shown a lot of moments of like a lot of good moments in games, but he's also shown a lot of shaky moments. I think his distribution is a little poor at times.
Yeah, comparing to Harvey, I know Harvey's got brilliant distribution.
And
Charlie's is a bit down.
Charlie Binns has his odd amazing game as well. He's fantastic against Chippenham. He wasn't so great against, say, Chelmsford, for example, or Hampton and Richmond. There's a lot of games where he's had poor games, and I think even though he's going to a league below, I think it'd actually be good for him to have a loan out to another Southern League. Actually, no, does that make any sense? I genuinely don't know. I just don't think. I just think he needs somewhere away, maybe to Tier 8, but I guess not to another team in our league. Maybe just a league lower. But then again, it feels like he's too low for that league. He's one of those players that is like he feels too low for that league, but then too high for us.
Maybe someone down at the bottom. I mean, depends on how the season works out.
I think he's more likely to stay at us than Harvey, let's say. Yeah. But I just don't think he should be our number one next season, purely because he's an 18-year-old. He's got to go out somewhere. But also, as I said, I don't think we'll be able to keep two keepers. He's an 18-year-old. He's still a young keeper. We should get in a more experienced keeper or a young keeper loaned in from, Championship, whatever. And I don't want to let go of Binns because I see, he's got a lot of promise as a keeper, but at the same time, I just don't think we'll be able to hold on to two keepers. So that's why I put loan, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I preferably would want to keep him, but I mean, again, if he does go, I mean, if he's gonna go, maybe a loan move would be better, and maybe not to like you said, maybe not to a league underneath us, maybe to another team just in that league. That maybe I wanted to so just loan to another team in that league, let him play with them, and then maybe play against him or whatever, and then bring him back in. So to add some experience. But I personally would want to keep, but a loan, I wouldn't be opposed to it. So
the final player we've got who has made a first team appearance, permanent first team player that have made an appearance, is Zion Thompson. Came on as a sub at Maidstone for 1 minute and also played against Odd Down and Street.
Yes.
I think he looks like a confident player. He moves with confidence, and I think a loan for Zion Thompson as a young striker, another loan to a lower league will probably be the right move.
I think so too as well. And then especially I do think with now the fact that he's just started to get some minutes, we're going to see what Scott thinks of him as a player, sees his confidence, and hopefully can develop him into a really good, really dangerous striker. But a loan I wouldn't be opposed to. I personally would prefer keep, in all honesty. Keep us just to add a little bit more depth to that.
I don't think he's going to get any minutes though.
You don't think he's going to get any minutes, but
but especially if we sign a new striker, which I really think we should.
We should, but I mean, if we don't, I mean, I think a loan wouldn't be too. I mean, again with all these, I can't really get like a solid conclusion.
You also got to remember that loan offlifts a lot of the wage budget.
Yeah, so. Yeah, probably. Yeah, in that case, then probably a loan. But I would still want to see him play again for the future of Bath, because I do see him as a striker with some promise and that can be developed, and hopefully we bring him back. And play him. But so again, I'll settle on that loan.
Okay, and that's the end of the player list. So that's our keep, loan, sell for going into the Southern League next season. I don't want to say it, but because it's not mathematically confirmed at this point, but. Let's be honest. That's our team for Southern League next season. That's all I've got to say on that matter. So next episode, we'll probably try and do a recruitment one. Who will we sign? Like, what players will we sign? And that will require a lot of, research.
Yeah,
into the Southern
definitely,
League.
yeah.
Probably a lot of research into National League, sort of like who we maybe could loan in or whatever.
Or maybe even some of the leagues higher.
The nearby general areas, the teams in the general areas, like, you know, your Rovers, your sort of you know, just general teams in this sort of area.
Grab.
But yeah, thank you for listening to our podcast today. A little bit of a longer one. We tried to speed through it as quick as we could while still giving descriptive analysis on what we thought of each player. Thank you very much for listening. Ollie, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you all for the next episode. Goodbye.
Ta-da.